Hey guys, this is Natalie from Inspired Alignment. I've decided to come and do a few videos on the upcoming week of July here. This is the last week in July, and as many of you might know, on the 27th and 28th, depending on your location, we will be experiencing a full moon. And not only will it be a full moon, but it'll be a full moon total lunar eclipse. So this energy is going to be pretty intense, and I decided it might be a good idea to maybe come and do a few readings to see if there was any kind of guidance or messages that we could find useful for this time. I decided to do this by element, so I'm actually on water now. This is the last one that I had to do, and then I was going to start working on the month of August readings. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with water signs for the last week of July. Okay. Spirit, what messages do we have for water signs? The last week of July, 2018. Kind of a funky shuffle. Okay. What messages do water signs need to know for the last week in July 2018? Okay. Wow, these cards are not wanting to cooperate. They are like huge though, so sometimes they're hard to kind of handle. Okay, messages do we have for water signs? Right, the first card we have is the Nine of Air. Second card is Intuition. Third card is the Four of Earth. Fourth card is the Two of Earth. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Wands, or the Eight of Fire. And then we have Knowledge. And under the deck, I have the Four of Air, the Two of Fire, and the Six of Air, and the Essential, I think that's how you say it, I don't know, it's kind of a weird pronunciation. And then I also have the Queen of Water, which I'll take since this is a Cancer sign reading. Let me kind of scoot these down here so we can see them a little bit better. Okay. Okay, so what I see is that you may have been feeling kind of bound in a situation, and actually, like, what I'm more picking up on here is that you may have been feeling maybe a little bit blocked spiritually, and sometimes this can happen when we go through a lot of like activations or downloads, or we just have like a lot of like psychic or intuitive hits, and after that occurs we have like a ton of energy for a little bit of time, and then after that we kind of feel like nothing. And it's not that that what we have gained or that ability that we gained has left us. It's just that, you know, when that happens, usually it creates like a time of release or a time of purging. And so you may have recently gone through this where you kind of had like a high energy moment and felt very connected spiritually, and then it kind of stopped, and you might have been wondering like if you did something wrong, or you know, like if there was a specific reason as to why this went away. And it's actually completely normal. I've had this happen to me quite a few times. And I think that it's just kind of like part of that process. Like we kind of have to clear some things out, and then we have to like take what we've been able to gain, or have the new types of things that we're able to do, and integrate that now into like our physical everyday life. So that can be a little bit of an adjustment, and that can feel like a blockage at times, but really it's just part of a process. So I have here the Four of Earth, which has come up in a couple other readings as well. And what I've picked up from the other readings, and I'm kind of getting the same message here, is that, you know, you've been through a tough battle. Like this time frame, I mean, I would say even the last year, you know, probably since like last August, September, October, you've probably have dealt with some challenges on many different levels, financially, emotionally, just, you know, a lot of different ups and downs. And it's been kind of a rough battle, but you know, you're reaching a point now where you are coming out stronger than before, and you're kind of like ready to take this thing on. You know, you might be a little bit battered and bruised here, but you're standing strong, and you are ready to be like this stable figure. So what I have next is the Two of Earth. And in this card, this woman has like 4 different eggs, and she's in nature. So, and you know, the heart is really standing out to me here. So you may be experiencing some heart chakra activations, and sometimes when this happens, you can maybe feel like some fluttering in your chest. It could sometimes be like feeling like anxiety of some sort. You might be finding things like more like say you read a poem or watch a movie or even catch a commercial or something, you may be a little bit more emotional than normal. So, you know, some like really little things could be kind of like bringing you to tears, but in a happy kind of a way, where, you know, you're just very like joyful. And this is in part because your heart chakra is beginning to open now. And I'm also picking up here that for some people, and this could be a very specific message, somebody who is maybe looking or trying to have a child, I'm getting that this is a fertile time for you. So I would try during this time, you know, maybe to like conceive if you're looking to do that, because I'm really picking up here that the fertility is very potent right now. Okay, so what I've got next is this 8 of fire, and so this is a very spiritual card. And I think that kind of like what I'm getting is that you may have like gone through this phase where you had like this really abrupt energy that came in. you experienced maybe some sort of like karmic clearing, so you might have felt kind of like down or really tired, or maybe there was a specific circumstance that happened that kind of blew up a little bit, and then it like cleared itself out, and you felt a little like blocked from this like energy here. But I feel like this is still around you, and I think once you get past this like little bit of clearing that you have going on, and that could be taking place during this last week, or it could have actually started more towards the beginning of July, in this process you've already kind of been going through, and so you're kind of closer to maybe the end of clearing whatever this was. And so you're going to be kind of connecting a little bit more spiritually like you were before. And I'm picking up here that when this happens, you may be guided to seek certain kinds of information. So I think everybody kind of does this in a different way. Sometimes, you know, we can see numbers. Sometimes, you know, we see certain kinds of animals or symbolism that stands out to us. You could just be, you know, on social media somewhere, and you are guided to like look at something in particular, and so you start doing some kind of research on the internet because of this. And this is basically saying that this is you're being totally guided to do this. You're being guided to that information because you're going to need to gain this knowledge. You're going to need this knowledge here in the future. It's going to really benefit you. So underneath the deck, I had the Four of Air, which came up in three of the other elemental readings. And you know, I'm feeling like a lot of people as a collective maybe are dealing with something kind of similar, but just like in their own way. But this feels to me like there's been some kind of a certain situation or a circumstance where you have felt kind of bound to it, or it's just like something that you haven't been able to really get past. You've been kind of stuck here, and you feel like, you know, time is like kind of running out, or you're like being impatient about not being able to move forward. And this could have to do with a choice that needs to be made, or it could have something to do with an idea, or a certain, I'm getting almost like a creative type idea that you may have had, and you've really been thinking about this and doing some research and gaining some knowledge about whatever this idea is, but you haven't yet taken the action. You've kind of been stuck and stagnant in just like this thinking period. And basically what I'm getting is that like you were kind of stuck in a way for a reason, because maybe you needed to gain a little bit more knowledge, or have a certain like a better idea of how to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. And you are really coming close to being at that point where you're going to be able to move past just it being an idea, and you're going to start manifesting whatever these creative ideas are, and whatever this like you know, project or business idea, whatever it is, you are going to be able to start moving forward with that. And here I have the Six of Air, and I love this card. It is so beautiful. Let me just try and show it up close. But to me, this card really has, there's so much symbolism in this card, and it's just absolutely beautiful. But what I'm getting is that, you know, you may have recently kind of gone through some ups and downs, maybe even over the last year, but this might have kind of stirred up a little bit more recently. But this is like coming to a close. And I'm really seeing here that you have really balanced yourself with like your masculine and feminine energies, you know, the yin and the yang. You are really finding this balance within yourself, and I see at the top of her head here, this her crown chakra is like completely open, and there's like a rainbow that's like coming into her head. So, you know, you've like, I think if you're not already like past this point here, you're gonna be there very soon. And you're kind of like at this place that you've been waiting to be at. You know, I think that you've been working really hard towards this and putting a lot of energy and effort and maybe even like research and stuff into this. And, you know, it's coming. Like, you are finally like reaching this balance and like this harmonious peace within yourself. And I think that you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And, you know, I see this coming really soon here. Like, you are going to be very intuitive. You'll probably be picking up a lot of information and maybe even discovering some kind of gifts that you didn't know that you had prior. Okay, so also I had the Queen of Water here that came out, and I pulled it out because I know that this is the water sign reading here. What really stands out to me is the crab, so this could be for a Cancer in particular. But it kind of ties in with this Six of Water. Like, you know, the Queen of Water is very intuitive, and she kind of almost reminds me of the High Priestess, you know, just very spiritually knowledgeable, very emotionally in tune and in touch, and able to pick up on many things going on around her. So, you know, and that could have been part of like this journey that you've been on, is, you know, adjusting to having like this sensitivity and these abilities, and, you know, maybe now you are like finally like balancing that out and really kind of working with that in your day-to-day life. It looks very beautiful down here at the bottom. And then the next card I had here was the Sensual, and I don't know if I'm ever pronouncing that right, but basically what this card means is, you know, when you are kind of giving your power over to another person, or there's another person in your life, or maybe it's not a person, maybe it's a certain circumstance or a job, but it's like you kind of feel like you are not working for yourself, but you are more like working for somebody else. And this card is asking you to really focus on working for you and not for the benefit of others. And I kind of see this here with the Two of Fire. It's like you've got like some burning, passionate ideas and some creativity that really wants to come out, but something is kind of holding you back. And this could be certain people or situations in your life that maybe, you know, you might be walking away from in the future, or just kind of detaching a little bit in some way, because it feels like you're just doing things to maybe kind of like please certain people or please a certain situation, when really you should be focusing on just like what is pleasing you. And also this brown dog kind of stands out to me a little bit, so that could also be a special message for someone out there. If you guys have a dog, especially a brown one, that could have been a specific message for you. I'm going to take some more cards on this to see what other kind of information we have here for water signs in the last week of July. What other messages does water signs need to know? Okay. I have the Emperor. Okay, I had this Nine of Swords and this Knight of Cups. Okay, the Seven of Cups, and then the Eight of Water, or the Eight of Cups, and then under the deck I have the Hangman, the Four of Wands, and then Temperance. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is you could be a man, or you could be dealing with a man, and this could be specifically an Aries or a Taurus male, but you could also be, if you are in a twin flame situation, this could also be the masculine energy or the masculine counterpart. And what I'm getting here is that this person is really doing some reflection, and this could be you as well, but I'm kind of picking up a more masculine energy here, and I kind of had like a more feminine energy before, but you know, this can resonate in with for either or. So this could be you, or this could be the other person. What I have is that there's like a masculine type energy, and you know, they have really been doing some thinking, like they have been totally overwhelmed with thoughts within their mind to the point where it's keeping them up at night. But they are kind of coming to like the closing of this. So they're kind of starting to see that there is like a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there's a more to the situation, and that can kind of help release some of these thoughts that have been really burdensome to them. And this person may come and reach out to you, and again here I have a crab, so this could be a Cancer male, or this could have started to take place in the time of Cancer, which I think it may have just ended, or it just ended. I'm not exactly sure on the specific dates. But, so this person could be, you know, either they're trying to come back and be a little bit more emotional instead of more, like of a logical thinker, or you know, like me, I'm getting before, maybe they were not very emotional with their true self. And so they may be making some kind of moves forward, or you could be doing this, that are a little bit more vulnerable. And this may bring up some questions for you. Like, you may kind of feel like, you know, you're not quite sure what to do. Like, should you accept this offer that this person is giving you? Have they changed their ways? You know, is there, you know, are things going to be different? Because if you have already had a relationship with this person before, and there was like some kind of a situation that, you know, disrupted the relationship, this kept this like person up and thinking at night and reflecting on the situation, and then they wanted to come forward and offer a more vulnerable piece of themselves, and now you're kind of stuck in this place where you're like not sure what to do. Like, should you accept it? Should you trust it? You know, like you're trying to follow your intuition, and you're kind of feeling like you know what the right way to go is, but I'm picking up here just kind of like a really like unsure energy. And then right next to that, I have the Eight of Cups. So this really, because of the sun and the moon here, really kind of symbolizes this time that we're going through right now with the eclipses. And what I'm getting is that, you know, you may decide that this person still has some work to do, and you might turn this offer down and you know, tell them that they need to come back, you know, when they get some other things figured out. Or this could be you know, that you might decide that, you know, you want to walk away in some type of way to make sure that none of these other 7 cups are the one for you. So you might be kind of questioning this thing here with this person that's coming back. And then underneath the deck, I had the Hanged Man with the Four of Wands and the Temperance card. And you know, in this Four of Wands, these people, they still appear to be happy, and there's a little dove here at the bottom of their feet. So, I mean, there's definitely love here in this relationship. But usually when I see the back side of it, I get more of a sense that the relationship is kind of like going away at the moment. So this could be very possible that there was a relationship, there were some issues, maybe the person left and then the person tried to come back, but I'm almost seeing here that you're not completely ready. And this could have something to do with this card that I was talking about here, where, you know, doing something for the sake of making somebody else happy instead of doing it for yourself and making yourself happy. So, you know, that could have something to do with this. You know, maybe you really do love this person and you do want to have a future with them, and maybe you don't. But the bottom line is that you want to be able to do something that you know is for the highest good of yourself, and not just because you're feeling bad that this person came to you and offered up a vulnerable piece of themselves. You know, that just isn't, you know, that's not just all that you have to do to kind of, you know, come back in sometimes. So, you know, that could be the situation going on here. And then also I had this Temperance card, and in this card I really I'm really picking up Archangel Michael, which is funny. I normally don't pick up specific archangels like that, but I'm hearing Archangel Michael. So maybe if you have any questions or you feel like you need some kind of guidance, you know, try to call on Archangel Michael. I also am seeing the eagle and the lion here. So I don't know, I just really feel like you have like a lot of spiritual protection and guidance around you right now. And we kind of seen that up here with many of the cards that are up here. So I don't know, I'm really getting just kind of like really go within, and like you are going to get the answers that you seek. And you know, going back to this card here where the woman, you know, had these eggs and her heart chakra was opening, you know, that was it could have been a very specific message for somebody who is trying to conceive. But this also could be that you are fertile with many new ideas, and like you are getting ready to kind of journey off into your own path, or you know, your own divine path individually. Like you're really trying to get something started, and like, so this relationship here, you know, you might feel like isn't the right time for it, because you've got to focus your energy on these new creative things that you are like getting ready to do. So I'm going to pull a Blessed Bee card to see if we have any kind of messages here. Spirit, can I get one Blessed Bee card for water signs? One Blessed Bee card for water signs. Okay, a blessing for solace and hope, and then under the deck, a blessing of the earth. So, the first thing I thought of when I seen this blessing of solace and hope was that if there is some kind of like funny energy between you and another person, like an intimate relationship, that this will probably work itself out more towards the winter time. So maybe right now isn't the best time. I'm getting like that it's really great that this person has been able to open themselves up and be more vulnerable, but you know, that doesn't just, you know, solve everything. And maybe I mean you really just have some inner work and some things that you need to do right now, and maybe you don't exactly have the time to really focus on this relationship right now. So I'm getting here in the winter time, maybe this is going to be a better time for that relationship to come back together. And you know, keep hope, you know, and know that this is going to work out. If this is like a twin flame or a divine counterpart, you know that this is eventually going to come together. So, you know, go with your inner guidance and do what you feel is the right thing to do. Don't do it because you're trying to make somebody else happy. You know, do it for yourself and do what your inner knowing is telling you to do. And then also here I have a blessing of earth. And so what I'm getting is, you know, try to spend some time out in nature. You know, maybe plant in the garden, or just, you know, spend some time outside in the sun, or if you have like any lakes or anything nearby, you know, go and kind of sit outside by the lake. But what I'm also getting here is to ground yourself, which you can do by spending time out in nature. But, you know, I've seen a lot of spiritual kind of activity going on here, and like high energy and kind of ups and downs and ups and downs. So grounding yourself during that time will be really helpful for you. And I think that there's, you know, there's specific types of like stones and crystals that you can get to help ground yourself. There's different kinds of mantras that you can use. And then really I find just spending time out in nature helps with this immensely. So I hope that these messages helped, water signs, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care.